Hey guys, welcome to today's video. I'm going to be doing a declutter of my entire makeup collection. This has been a long time coming. I have not decluttered my makeup in forever. And I have so many things that I don't use. I know there are people in my life that would use them. I mean, if nothing else, I can always give some things to like my nieces. They love when I give them makeup. So I'm gonna try to organize things a little bit better. Yes, yet again, drinking another Poppy. I'm gonna move the camera over there and kind of just see if I can give you guys a good view. Before we do that though, if you're new, I'd love if you would consider subscribing. If you wanna see more videos from me, I would really appreciate that. And let's get into this monstrous task. So here's my first and main drawer. Excuse the stains on this white paint. It just stains really easily and it's hard to clean off properly, but yeah, this is the drawer. There's definitely some stuff even in the back there. I have some other organizers that I want to bring in here. And then this is the second drawer, and this isn't as full. Slightly more organized because I have these lipstick organizers and this is all lip products. And then in the back there, I have some like powder products that I don't really ever use, like highlights, blushes, things like that. I'm gonna try to get through that today too. I feel like this is just a lot for me for someone that's not really doing makeup as their job on YouTube. So yeah, I think I'm gonna pull all this stuff out and like sit on the floor and try to go through it that way so I'm not sitting in front of this drawer the whole time. All right, this organizer is clearly overflowing and there's way too much stuff in here for how big this is. This is all of my foundations, bronzers, blushes, and highlights. I don't have my concealers in here because they're in another container in that drawer. But I kind of want to get through this thing first because it's just so intense and overflowing. And I think I know for the most part what I want to get rid of in here. Shall we start big and do all the foundations first? Maybe we should because I think I know more what I want to get rid of here. Let's start with the one standing up here in the corner. This is the L'Oreal Paradise. I really like this one, but I am almost out of it, so that's why I keep it standing up so that I can get all the last bit of product out of here. So this one I'm going to keep and finish it up. Hopefully that'll stay there. Pretty Fresh is newer, so I'm definitely keeping this. It's a great match for my skin tone right now, and I do really like it, even though it's not like my favorite foundation product I've ever tried. It's not quite as dewy as I would like, I guess, is what I should say, but it's nice and it has pretty good coverage and I do like it. You know what? Maybe I should be a little bit more zoomed in. I don't know. Hopefully you guys can like see. This one here is the Stila Aqua Glow Serum Foundation. This is beautiful, but it is a discontinued product and this is probably really old, but I won't be throwing it away because I do really like it. And it's another one that matches my skin tone this time of year, so I might try to use this up this summer before I get pale again. Some that I do definitely know I want to get rid of though, this NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop foundation. This is so old, like probably definitely older than the Stila one, and I literally have used it maybe once because it is so full coverage and matte and just not something that I would ever go for. I don't know why I still have this. I'll just set it over here and do like a declutter pile and then I'll show you guys at the end. Also gonna get rid of both of these Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless foundations. I also just never reach for them even though they are beautiful on the skin. If you like a matte foundation, this is the only like matte foundation I would personally ever wear because it's so thin and lightweight and it's not too full coverage, but I haven't worn them in years. So there's just no reason for me to keep these because I just always wear something more dewy nowadays. Another one that I've also had forever, L'Oreal True Match Super Blendable Foundation. Don't know why I still have this. Yeah, I don't even need to have an explanation for all of these. I know which ones I want to get rid of. So let's go back to a couple I want to keep. This is actually recent, the Revlon Photo Ready Candid foundation. I did not expect to like this as much as I did. I randomly kind of bought it because it was discounted. I've ended up really enjoying this. I've only worn it a couple times so far, but it looks really pretty on the skin, which I wasn't expecting, especially because this is a foundation. It's not like a BB cream and it looks really natural and pretty. And it fits my skin tone pretty well right now too, which is really nice to have some darker options for my summer shades. Because I, for the longest time, only had lighter shades. Like a few good examples of that are the ones I was using constantly last year. The Wet n Wild Tinted Hydrator, the Misha Perfect Cover BB Cream, and the Fenty Beauty Easy Drop. All three of these I used so much in the last year, but they're all like my more winter kind of shade and they don't fit me very well in the summertime if I'm more tan. So I haven't been reaching for these as much unless I'm mixing them in with a darker shade. But I love them all so much. Like they're some of my favorite. I think these would definitely be my 3 favorites here, even over these, because I love them so much, even though I don't have my current shades. Another one I'm definitely letting go of is the ColourPop No Filter Stick Foundation. It's just too full coverage for me. I never ever reach for this. Also gonna let go of the Clinique Even Better Makeup. This one is nice and I used it for a long time, but I never reach for it anymore because I have so many others that I love. So there's just no reason to keep it because I know I'm never gonna wear it. So this is the serum tint from Typology. They sent me some of their stuff a while ago and I have really enjoyed some of it. This is definitely too dark for my skin tone, even when I'm tan. But I will mix a few drops in with something else, like something really fair like the Misha BB cream, and the combo is actually really, really beautiful. So I think I'm gonna keep this just to mix with things, especially because I have a few lighter ones here that I can't wear on their own in the summertime. I don't know why I have this Tarte Found Sealer. Never wear this either. I thought I'd keep it for travel, but when I travel, I take a product I really like, you know, and these are pretty small and easy to travel with. So there's no reason for me to keep this. Maybe someone else will want it to travel with. And then lastly, we have this Yummy Skin Serum Foundation that I reviewed. I think it was last year. I did like a whole new makeup video where I reviewed products, which I never usually do, but this was in that video and it is so full coverage, but it's also so beautiful on the skin. So I feel like even though I never reach for full coverage, I might keep this just for those times where if I have like a fancy event or something, which isn't very often, but if I ever do and I want something really full coverage that still looks really beautiful and dewy on the skin, I think this would be a really nice one to have on hand. So this is what I'm keeping. It's definitely still a lot more than I need for someone that doesn't do makeup videos on YouTube, but I'm still getting rid of like 50% of my things. So I'll show you guys all of what I'm getting rid of at the end. Oh, I guess I'm keeping this too, so that's another one. Bronzers. My Milk Makeup Cream Bronzer is staying. I don't use this one as much anymore because I love my Revolution one so much, but I still do really like it. I actually put it on today and I forgot how much I really enjoyed this one. So obviously definitely keeping both of those. This is gonna be hard for me because even though I don't use all of them, I still like to have options, you know what I mean? I am gonna get rid of this Undone Beauty one though because I've had this forever. It's pretty old. And it is something I never use. It's their water bronzer and it does look really nice on the skin actually, but you have to work with it a little bit more. Like only in my opinion looks good with certain things and certain types of makeup looks, because if I wear like a full coverage foundation with this, it will not look good. So that's my reasoning for never really wearing this one, so I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna keep the Maybelline Instant Rewind Perfector 4-in-1 Glow. This is really pretty as a bronzer. If I want something very lightweight that's a little bit warmer and gonna give my skin more of that sun-kissed kind of look. I'm also gonna keep this Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Concealer. And because this one is a concealer, even though I use it for like bronzer and stuff, it's very pigmented and it sets down a little bit better. If I want something that's not gonna move around at all and I'm like going for more of like a full coverage kind of look, this one comes in handy to have. I use the shade Warm Olive, just so you guys know, and I do use this, like I said, as like bronzer contour situation. I think I am going to let go of this e.l.f. Putty Bronzer because I've said it before and I will say it again, I hate the packaging of these. It's just such a tiny little container that it's so hard for me to get literally like any brush in there. I'd have to go in with my finger to apply it and I don't feel like this is pigmented enough to apply it onto my skin with my finger. So that's why I just never use this one, even though I think it's a pretty product and I love the shade and everything. I just hate how tiny this packaging is. I wish it was wider for more ease of use, you know? I have this Kiko Milano powder bronzer. Like I just never really use powder bronzer. And I think if I'm going to, it's probably gonna be this one here, which I'll share next. So I think I'm gonna get rid of this one too. Oop. This other one is the NARS Laguna bronzer and I only have a mini, but if I want a powder bronzer, this one is beautiful because it still gives your skin kind of like a sheen and just looks so pretty. So I definitely will keep this one. Blushes, I have my Merit cream blushes, which I've talked about a million times. I love these, but the shade Raspberry Beret, I honestly like never reach for because it's like this berry kind of tone, which isn't something I ever go for even in the winter time, to be honest. So I think I'm gonna pass this one on and see if there's someone else that would enjoy it. My niece was actually asking me about these blushes the last time she was here because I did her makeup for something. So maybe she would like to have one, you know? The other shades that I am keeping are Beverly Hills and Terracotta, both beautiful shades. I have this Rare Beauty cream blush, the one that comes in the pans. This is not obviously their liquid blush that everyone like talks about that's so popular. This one is in the shade Nearly Mauve. This is just another shade I never wear. I never really go for deep mauves like this, so there's just no reason for me to keep this, even though the packaging on this is stunning, so beautiful. And I just love the magnetic closure and everything. It's so pretty. Even though I don't dislike the formula, it's pretty pigmented, but it's the shade for me that keeps me from ever using this. So also definitely keeping my ColourPop blush sticks. This one is in the shade Aloha. All the writing on the tube has completely worn off, but this is one of my favorite blushes to this day. I've had it for years, but I still absolutely love it. It's a beautiful peachy shade and it's so just dewy and pretty, but really pigmented at the same time. I've heard some people say negative things about this formula, and I don't know if the other ones are different, but all I know is this shade in Aloha, which I don't think they sell anymore, which is kind of a bummer, is beautiful. Like, this is gorgeous on the skin. I don't know how anyone could say something negative about it, but obviously, I haven't tried the other ones, so maybe this one is just different. I don't know. Definitely keeping that though. Also keeping this Physicians Formula Organic Wear Dewy Blush Elixir. This is also recent to my collection, so I haven't worn it a ton yet, but I have been liking it, especially to mix it in with like a liquid highlight. Oh my gosh, the combo gives that kind of like Charlotte Tilbury blush wand effect, and it's beautiful. So I mainly use this to mix, but it's a beautiful like peachy muted kind of coral shade. It's not too bright, but it has that kind of vibe to it. I think I am gonna let go of this Pacifica Fluffy Blushy because I never reach for it. It's definitely interesting. It's very like shimmery, and I feel like there's like a film almost over the top, but you can kind of see in the side. It's very shimmery and glittery almost, so I just never reach for this one. It's in the shade Bloom, and it's not like a very dewy blush. It's pretty matte almost, even though it has a lot of shimmer in it, so I think because of that, it's like kind of just looks odd on the skin. I have this mini here of the Laura Mercier Tinted Moisturizer Blush. This is a really pretty shade. It's in the shade Provence. But I don't know if it's just the mini one, but this formula dries on my skin so quickly. If I don't blend it out like immediately, it will leave patchiness on my skin. So I don't know what's up with that, but I want to keep trying it just a little bit more and see if I can get it to work a little bit better. So I'm going to keep it. It's just a little mini anyway, so I don't really feel the need to like give it away. Honestly, I think this is the only powder blush I'm keeping, which is crazy, but it's the perfect type of shade to keep for a powder blush, because if I do someone else's makeup, this is like a really pretty neutral pinky, almost like bridal type shade in my opinion. It's the Essence The Blush in the shade Be Fitting. I do like this one, but I rarely wear a powder blush, so I'm just going to keep this one to have one powder blush. But then I'm going to get rid of the other powder blushes in here at the bottom. I'll just show you guys right now. I have this Tarte Party Blush, and it is really pretty, but it's also really old. Like, it's just like almost completely used. You can't really get much product out of there. This one might just have to go in the trash because it's literally so old. And then the ColourPop So Retrograde blush. This was in collaboration with Kathleen Lights. It's a really bright, like orangey kind of tone, which would be really pretty in the summertime for like tan skin, but I just never reach for this, you know? So I think it's gotta go. And then the rest of these I'm keeping. I have the Milk Makeup Work Cheek and Lip product, and then I have this e.l.f. Putty Blush. This is Bora Bora. It's like a bright pink kind of shade. Again, hate the packaging on these. I do feel like the blush in a way is more pigmented than the bronzer, or at least it's easier to get out of the pan anyways. And then this is probably my favorite blush that I own, the Rare Beauty Liquid Blush in Hope. Absolutely stunning. So pigmented. A little goes a long way, but this is beautiful, and I couldn't live without it. And then lastly, I have the Flower Beauty Blush Balm in Cinnamon. This is like a brownie kind of tone. It's very, very dewy. So just keep that in mind with these Flower Beauty blushes. They're so dewy, but it's really beautiful. I honestly am keeping enough blushes that I still don't know if they're all gonna fit back in here very well. So I'm just gonna set them over here for now. And then lastly in this tub, highlight. Guys, I don't know if I'm gonna have to split this video in two because it's already getting so long and I'm only through like the first half of my makeup, barely even, so we'll have to see. Maybe I'll do a part 1 and a part 2. Auric Glow Lust, you guys know I love this so much. It's so beautiful, especially to mix in with a liquid blush like I was saying earlier. But I actually think nowadays I slightly prefer my Merit stick. And this is their just highlighting stick in the shade Kava. So absolutely stunning. The formula of this is so beautiful and thin, and it's very dewy and like glossy on the face, but it's not like glittery or anything. And the reason I like this one is because it stays very wet and dewy on the skin, even more than the Auric one. But I still like the Auric one. This one just stays a little bit more glossy on the skin. Also keeping my Essence Pure Nude Highlight, even though this is actually a million years old. I need to get a new one really bad. Flesh Highlighting Balm in Startle. So this is literally not even a brand anymore. I think they discontinued the brand. And this is a pretty formula, but it's very, very pale. So it like pretty much never works for my skin. It's like an icy type of shade. So I think I'm gonna let that one go. Same for the ColourPop like highlighting sticks. This is a pretty formula, but it's kind of like a pinky type of shade, which I never reach for highlight. So it's not too intense, but still just not something I reach for with that kind of tone. So I'm going to let this one go as well. I honestly think I'm also going to let go of this little mini of the Becca highlight in Champagne Pop. It was a beautiful highlight for what it was, but I never reach for powder highlight. And if I do, I am going to grab for this one. I feel proud of my highlight section because it's very like limited. I literally have 4 products, which is like all I need. This is the perfect amount for me. I'm gonna put all this stuff back now and just see how it looks in here and if everything's gonna fit. If not, I'll get another organizer, but I think I might be able to do it. Okay, so there we have it. Definitely still pretty full, but I think it looks a lot better than it did and it feels a lot better. It definitely feels like I can see everything I need more. The blush is definitely the fullest one, but I do really love blush and it's very hard for me to let them go. So that doesn't really surprise me, to be honest. I'm gonna set this aside now and move on to something else. All right, here are the rest of my face products. This is the box from that second drawer that is stuff I literally never use. So pretty much all of this is getting decluttered. Then I have some setting sprays, and then like, this is honestly random miscellaneous things that is very disorganized and I need to organize that better. I'm gonna try to find like a different organizer to put that stuff in so it's not so random. And then here I have primers and concealers. And then here are the 4 powders that were in my main drawer. Let's get to it. May as well start with this box because like I said, it's pretty much all just gonna go. I keep this RCMA no color powder because if I ever do someone's makeup, I like to have translucent powder, which I hardly ever do people's makeup anymore, but I may still keep this just in case I'm ever doing like makeup for a friend's wedding again or something. But yeah, I actually don't like to use it out of that bottle because it's kind of hard. So I have this e.l.f. compact situation that I put that powder into. This IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Pores pressed powder is so old it doesn't even work anymore. I did hit pan on it, as you can see, but there's still quite a bit of product in there, which is a bummer, but like this needs to be thrown in the trash. I have some powder blushes in here, L'Oreal True Match, Wet n Wild Color Icon, a Makeup Geek one. These are just all things that I never use. I never use powder blush, and if I do, it's gonna be the one I showed you. So these are all gonna go. Actually, I have another like Anastasia blush palette in here too. Also never used that. This is the Becca Opal highlight, very discontinued. And again, I really never use powder highlight. A Morphe powder highlight, some ColourPop highlighters that I never use. This one actually I used a lot of. It's the shade Wisp, but I think this needs to be thrown out too because it's really old. I might actually keep this little Maybelline eyeshadow. It's in the shade The Glow Down, and I used to use it as a highlight back in the day when I used powder highlights. But this is actually a really pretty eyeshadow too, so I might just keep it. It's just like a pretty golden shade. I have this Wet n Wild contouring palette. This is also so old and I never use it, so that's gonna go too. A lot of this stuff is just really old, as you can see. These are the powders that were in my main drawer. This Rimmel Stay Matte one is gonna go in the trash. It's broken. The lid like doesn't stay on, and I liked it like when I used it. I much prefer the Kosas one now. Then I have the three. I'm keeping the Estee Lauder Double Wear Loose Powder. This one is for when I'm a little bit more tan, but it is a nice powder and I keep it just for like more glam occasions. And then basically the only one I ever use anymore these days, the Kosas Cloud Set. Just literally such a beautiful powder. I can't stop using this one because it looks so natural on the skin. Lastly, I just have a little mini of the Charlotte Tilbury powder in the light shade, and I use this sometimes as like an under eye brightening powder. So that's it for my powders. I don't even know why I brought this out because I'm keeping all three of these setting sprays. They're the only ones I have. I mainly use the ColourPop Pretty Fresh, but if I want my makeup to last a little bit longer, I'll go for the e.l.f. Stay All Night. And then I have like literally a couple sprays left of the Milk Hydro Grip. So these I'm keeping. I'm just gonna try to organize this little thing a little bit better. But then here is my container of concealers and primers. This I usually just keep sitting in my drawer because it takes up so much space in here, but this is the Milk Hydro Grip Primer. I'll be keeping this one because I do like it when I want my makeup to last longer. I have a mini of it in here though that is almost finished anyways, so this one I think just needs to get thrown out. I have the NYX Angel Veil that I haven't used in years. I don't know why this is still in my house. And honestly, oh my gosh, you guys, that literally sounds like it's hard in there. Like, I don't even know if that would squeeze out. Oh my gosh, guys. It doesn't even squeeze out. This is so old. I think it's like hardened in there. That is actually hilarious. Again, like I said, this has been in the bottom of the drawer for years and I haven't used it in forever. So that's also going in the trash. Then we have the Rare Beauty Pore Diffusing Primer. This is one of the only primers I ever use. If I'm gonna actually use a primer, most of the time I prep with moisturizer, but these are the two like primers that I actually like to use if I'm gonna go for that. But like I said, I rarely use primer. I have this little Bobbi Brown corrector that I can't use because it literally does not match my skin tone. Like, it's orange. I don't know if that shows up on camera, but that is like literally orange, so that's gotta go. NARS Soft Matte Concealer, obviously keeping. This is my all-time favorite concealer, like truly. I don't even use anything else much lately on my eyes because I've been going through a phase again where I'm realizing like my under eyes crease with anything else, and even the Ilia one that I love so much, I feel like it just creases so much more than the NARS one, so I just always grab for this one. I will be keeping the Ilia ones though because I do really like it, especially like if I'm going for a very dewy kind of look or like to use on blemishes or something and I don't want something overly full coverage. These are really nice. I'm also going to keep my Merit like stick things. Also like a really pretty natural kind of look on the skin. I like these more for blemishes than I do for like my under eyes. I shouldn't be keeping all these. Lately I have occasionally been mixing this Typology concealer with the NYX Bear With Me concealer. These two match my skin tone really well right now, and I do feel like they look really pretty on my skin. Sometimes I'll even layer them on top of the NARS, which is so extra, I know, but my under eyes are really picky. Like, they're not only super creasy, but I also have really dark circles under there, so it's hard to get them looking really nice. But I am gonna let go of these. I have two of the e.l.f. Camo Concealers and two of the Tarte Shape Tapes. I never use these anymore because they're just way too intense for me and full coverage, and I don't know what happened. I used to really love the Tarte, but they just look so cakey on the under eyes. I don't know how I used to wear these and I didn't feel like they looked bad, but now whenever I wear them, they look bad. And I don't know if my preference changed that much, like the way I saw things changed that much, or if my skin got drier or something. I don't know, but I'm letting these go because I never ever wear any of them. This video is getting really long, you guys. I think I am going to do this in 2 parts, and I think that's like all my face products. So I'm going to go try to find those plastic organizers and organize some of this stuff and put it back in the drawer. and just see where I can get that drawer to today and how it ends up looking. Hopefully it will look a lot better than it did before.
Everything goes white. I can feel the breeze. Euphoric delight. Only you and me. Pour your honey.
All right, I'm aware that this still looks pretty full, but I do feel like it looks more organized than it did before, and I can see a lot more of what I have. So even in the back, it's more organized. I have like this little container with like the miscellaneous things in it, my eyelash curler, some lip balm and stuff. And then also the only thing I didn't actually take out of this drawer when I was going through everything are some face products back there. I have some moisturizers and eye cream. And then I put my setting spray back there, and I have like some primers just standing up because I couldn't fit any more organizers in here really, at least not in a practical way to where it would be easy to reach things. So yeah, that's kind of my situation back there, but it's nice to have everything in clear organizers because I do feel like it is a little bit more relaxing to look at, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know, it just feels more clean. And then down here we have everything I'm getting rid of from this declutter. I have these random little boxes. I don't know if I'm even gonna end up using these. I feel like it's pretty good for the fact that this is just the face products and just a couple like random miscellaneous things that need to go in the trash. I think it's better if I do this in parts, and then part 2 will be lip products and eyeshadows. I think that makes a little bit more sense because this video would be so long, even though I don't even know if anyone's gonna watch part 2. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully I will see you in my next video. Let me know, like I said, if you want to see the part 2, and that's gonna be it for me today. Bye.